Hey, look, it's that Merrick Ishtar guy. What an asshole.
Hey, you don't know that about him. He could be a nice guy.
Nope, I'm definitely an asshole.
Not helping, Odeon!
Hey guys, I'm Manny the Dragon Tamer Team Forbidden, and you're probably wondering what kind of asinine intro was this? Well, Serket Turbo Best Deck, let's go! And you're probably wondering, how the hell is this gonna work out? Well, it's a work in progress, but you can definitely see the idea that's going into this with the rest of the deck, so let's get started, shall we? So first of all, of course, we got our 3 Serket. And surprisingly enough, he does have a bit of a good, what would you call it? The fact that he banishes the monsters he destroyed by battle instead of sending them to the graveyard, so he can basically avoid a lot of stuff that go off in graveyard. So that's actually not that bad if you want to, just mess with stuff like Shaddolls and all that who want to pop off in grave. And 3 Watch Cat. You guys are probably wondering, what the hell does this do? Well, when you don't control any monster on your field, it's a free summon. And at the end phase, on the turn that this thing was special summoned, you can actually tribute it to set a continuous spell. So, you can either use it to set your Temple of the Kings to get it set for your next turn, or, if you already have Temple of the Kings and Serket in hand, it's just a free summon for your Serket. Then, 3 Card D, because you'll see what I'm running. This deck really does need help in some consistency, so you're probably thinking I'm probably crazy for some of the stuff I'm running in here. So this basically helps out for the Misk, not the Misk you guys are thinking of, not the one that you've read, the different Misk, the trap card Misk, Dynamisk. And yeah, 3 Temple of the Kings. Like I said before, with Watch Cat, if it's a summon, it's basically a free search for the deck to have it set. And don't really this is the pre-errata Temple of the Kings. The one that's up to date states that you can special summon a monster from your hand deck or a fusion monster from your extra deck, so don't kind of go crazy thinking you can summon something like Ultimate Falcon with this or anything like that. So I was only able to really find these copies, so if you can, just keep that up-to-date database in mind or find the copies that actually state, the correct term. 3 extra, because we're running 3 of everything in our extra deck. So this is basically to help out the consistency of the deck, because I kind of basically got the idea of making this deck from watching Andrew play Grand Maju with all the fucking traps that he has. So he kind of gave me the idea of maybe it's not so bad to play slow and steady. Basically said the same thing in Blue Eyes. If you can slow down your opponent enough to where you're going to be in a good game state, why not? 3 Duality, because it's a free search and it goes around extra. 2 Stormforce, when you just don't want to deal with anything that can't be targeted, like Dragoon or anything like that. Like, might as well tribute off your best monster to summon my Serket. Demise, because we're running a bunch of spells and traps that we can set. Feather Duster, because we don't want to we don't want to deal with back row. And Call by the Grave, because it's Called by the Grave. This thing will die to a lot of hand traps. Then onto the main bulk of the deck. We have 3 Azure Rune, the newest trap monster from Lightning Overdrive. And basically she's a Solemn on legs to where you can tribute a monster and negate a summon. Or if you just let her get destroyed by another monster by battle, it'll basically bring that monster down with her. Thumbs up to anyone who remembers Exploder Dragon. With Temple of the Kings, you can basically normal summon Metal Reflex Slime. And as a little thing here, we do have our boy Egyptian God Slime. We'll get into that when we get to the extra deck, but you can basically just normal summon Egyptian God Slime on your turn when you have Temple of the Kings on the field. 3 Crackdown, because we want to slow down our opponent or take our opponent's monsters for tributing for tribute fodder for our Serket, or just turning this into a Change of Heart if you have Temple of the Kings on the field. 3 Judgment, so we can stop any of our opponent's big back row hate like Lightning Storm and Feather Duster to protect our stuff or maybe stop a big summon. The Misk I was talking about, Dino Misk. and don't put them down in the comment, guys. I already know that these guys are not considered trap monsters, so I can't go crazy with Azure Rune. It's a work in progress, but these guys do basically help out with all the traps that go off that they summon themselves from grave and basically be used as tribute fodder for Serket. If only the extra deck was bigger, I would be running stuff like Toad and all that in there, but sadly we're stuck at 15, tight extra deck. 2 Canadia, because he basically acts like our Book of Moon. 2 Olenoides. If you really want to substitute this for anything, I would probably recommend Dust Tornado. Why Dust Tornado? Because, with Temple of the Kings already on your field to let you immediately activate trap cards, you can switch this out for Dust Tornado and basically set any spell or traps that you might have drawn from like card D that ended your turn prior. So it's like, Olenoide, or Dust Tornado, pop a back row, use Dust Tornado's secondary effect. How many of you actually knew that Dust Tornado had a secondary effect to set a spell or trap card from your hand onto the field? And then 2 summon limit to slow down our opponent. Onto the extra deck. And because of how Temple of the King works, just for the fact that we can summon any monster from our hand deck or any fusion monster from the graveyard or from the extra deck, 3 Warrior from another planet, basically clear the board and hopefully just slow the game down enough to where you win because, he's just the only one on the field swinging. 3 Exterio if you want to just say no to any back row that wants to try to go off. The reason you guys will probably think I'm crazy because this is like an $80 card at the moment. But luckily enough, I pulled my playset out of the tins that I bought, and I just never used them up until now. So, so any of you who are lucky enough to still have this card and not have to buy it, you can probably be as crazy as I am to make this goddamn deck. The copies of the card I did have to pay with, so if you want to, because half the time this deck does turn into Egyptian God Slime Turbo, because you will open up with Temple of the Kings and I'll reflect Slime. Oh, Temple, Summon Slime, Tribute Egyptian God Slime, and he protects all your smaller stuff because they have to try and get rid of him first. Because he's the only thing that can be attacked or targeted for anything until he's left the field. And then 3 alternative because indestructible blue eyes monster that can pop a card in the field. But hey, that's Serket / Egyptian God Slime Turbo. If you guys would like to see more, because like I said, this deck is a work in progress, and if you guys can put down anything in the comments to help kind of improve what I'm working on here, I'm welcome to any criticism or thoughts that you guys have. And like, comment, subscribe, check out our Patreon in the description, and see you guys next time.